Hey there, how's it going everybody? Dan here with plantabundance.com. It is another beautiful weekend here in the Bay Area, California. Everything is growing abundantly out here in this backyard food forest. See, the hugelkultur mounds have really taken off. I have yet to actually put a mulch on top of here because everything is actually growing so densely that it's not as necessary as it has been in the past. So check this out, guys. This is a plum and a plum cot. 2 trees in 1 hole. I learned this technique from Dave Wilson Nursery. I picked them up from a local orchard, and I've been very happy with these trees. As you can see, we've got a beautiful fruit set. Hundreds of fruits on both of these trees. So what would be the benefits to actually planting your fruit trees this close together? Well, maybe you're limited on space, you're a backyard gardener and you want to maximize the different varieties that you have. You could do a grafting, or you could do 2 trees in 1 plot. And with just a little bit of proper pruning, you're actually creating what appears to be 1 canopy, but you've got 2 trunks at the bottom. And you're also benefiting from the cross-pollination. When you've got fruit trees that are in the same family, the same species, the pollen from those flowers are going to cross-pollinate and give you a really nice fruit set. The other benefit I appreciate with this style is the density of the canopy itself, and it really creates a really nice privacy hedge. And I've actually got several examples of this technique here in my backyard. Here we've got 2 pomegranate trees. These are planted about 18 inches apart. One of them is the variety known as white, and the other one is a wonderful variety. And this year it's looking especially abundant. We've got flowers all over these 2 trees. I've gotten a harvest off these the last couple years, but it's looking like we're gonna maybe be in the hundreds as far as fruit set this year. And again, this is about getting the benefit of cross-pollination. This is about creating that dense canopy. So as you can see, or actually you can't see through it, and that's the whole point. I've got this in an area that I wanted to block and add a little bit more privacy to the landscape. And look at those beautiful, beautiful flowers all over these trees. So over here I got an example where I've got the trees planted about 8 feet apart, and I find this to be a really nice distance for dwarf fruit trees. Now these dwarf fruit trees will get about 15 feet tall max, but you want to still keep them in check and prune them down. And I've kept these pruned down to about 6 feet before spring hit, and now they're getting about 9, almost 10 feet tall, and we've got really nice abundant growth on both of these 2 trees here, and they're just now growing out to the point where the limbs of each one of these trees are touching. And that was the idea when I was planting these trees out, is I wanted again to create like a privacy hedge over here. So I don't want a whole bunch of space between my trees. I don't want my trees towering at 15 feet with hundreds and hundreds of fruit. I want my trees in check but still providing shade and privacy, and as a result I'm going to be able to just walk up and harvest from these trees so easily. So here's another example I want to share with you. I've got a couple trees planted here about 5 feet apart, and this works out good as long as you are pruning these trees down to a manageable level. Again, I can cut off a couple limbs here, create a little bit more space in between, allowing this tree to fill in a little bit more. But eventually what I'm looking for is for the limbs of both of these trees to just touch ever so slightly, creating a nice dense almost hedge. Now if you've got the room and you want a bigger tree, you want more fruits, I'd recommend planting dwarf fruit trees probably about 10 feet apart, and that's going to give you a nice distance where you can manage the height and also have a lot of girth on the tree still and get a heavier fruit set. And if you're planting out full-size non-dwarf fruit trees, you're probably going to want to space them out more like 15, 20, 25 feet apart. But when it comes down to it, when it comes to fruit tree spacing, there really is no right or wrong. It really comes down to what your preference is, what you're trying to accomplish in your landscape, the amount of space you have available to you, and also the time you want to spend in your garden. When you are doing closer plantings like what I have back here, it's going to take some management. You're going to have to come out and do some pruning, and I love doing that. But if you're looking for more of a carefree garden style, space them out a little further, let them get bigger. So that's my tip for you today. I hope it helped you in some way. And with that, I hope this video finds you and finds you well. Take care, everybody. I'll be talking to you again soon.